We are Group 5 and we are doing the assessments, the Integrative Thinking Project. These are our group members. Next page. Australia produces 540 kilograms of household waste per person each year. Of estimated 67 million tons of waste Australia generated in 2017, just 37 was recycled, leaving 21.7 disposed of in landfill, and that figure is increasing. The cost of food waste alone to the economic is estimated at 20 billion each year. It is said that Australian government have committed to prepare a national waste policies and to work together to better management waste. Not government set up policies. Actually, we all need to take action on waste. Therefore, our presentation will go through integrative thinking process to analyze how could government encourage people to reduce the household waste. Next page. Integrative thinking is a powerful idea that offers new answers to our solid problem. In the age where society is turning more and more locked in one line of thinking, it gives us tools to break away from our prejudice and eliminate our blind spots, giving us the chance to arrive at a different and better conclusion. In the effective executive, Peter points out an effective decision maker focuses on the most important decisions, works to achieve the deep conceptual understanding. The basic understanding of the right decisions comes from the clash of conflicting opinions, from careful consideration of competing alternatives, not from reaching consensus, but from trying to create disagreements. It is in the tension between competing ideas that we come to understand the true nature of problem and start to see possibilities for better answers. This we call the integrative thinking. Next page.
The next part is integrative thinking process. Stage 1. To reducing household waste by government, our group comes out with opposing point of view, build up reward policy and punishment policy. Here's the form shows how the reward system work. The first is the ranking system. The people tend to keep up with the comparative mentality, and we want to create a positive social atmosphere. We use the community as the unit and the town as the unit to make the statistics on household waste. The second point is to create reward, money, and reputation. According to the ranking system as the note in the first point, families without mandatory reward will receive appropriate reputation reward. We focus on cultivating people's awareness and habits of recycling. The third point is government intervention through the government to reduce payroll taxes and other taxes for well-behaved family members. And this is the punishment system. Through our research and experience, Japan has many laws to reduce household waste, which can improve environmental awareness and appropriate waste treatment level. The first method is to find the household that perform poorly in the rankings. This method can urge everyone to consciously reduce garbage. Even if there is no bonus, they are not willing to be fined. The second point is government intervention. Increase the personal income tax to increase the cost of living of this family, so as to achieve the goal of reducing domestic garbage. These people will therefore reduce the default credit and violation of the credit scoring system and take punitive measures such as not being able to take public transportation or even applying for a visa. In addition to the reward and punishment from, a standard line will be set up. If the amounts of garbage in all households are below in this line, it means that everyone is performing very well. Even the region and household ranking lost will not be punished.
Stage 2, examine the models. In this stage, we need to define the points of tension, assumptions, and cause and effect forces. Integrative thinking explores opposing approaches to models to determine their similarities and the differences. So the next step is to look at these models together and explicitly put them under stream with a series of exploratory questions. We have two opposing models to solve reducing household problem. The similarity is these measures are all government interventions, require the cooperation of the public, and are all aimed at reducing household waste. The difference is that the reward system creates a positive, optimistic attitude in society, and people expect to do these things. Punishment creates fear in the public and forces them to change. So the most valuable thing is no matter what method is adopted, it is important to cultivate people's awareness of reducing household waste and create a good social atmosphere so that people can consciously make good behavior. The tension is that there may be some people who ignore, oppose, and are unwilling to follow the relevant policies stipulated by the government because some people think the government is bluffing because these measures may not have a substantial effect on the environment, and they think the regulatory measures are too strict and there are too many defects, which need to invest a lot of money and manpower. If we assume that the government achieves the goal of reducing domestic waste, we can see that our city becomes more beautiful and clean and orderly. Not only can people increase their income through these measures, but the poverty index of the family is reduced and everyone can be positively affected. For positive rewards, mental rewards may not motivate them very well because some people are self-satisfied. They don't need external praise for them, and they don't want to pander to the masses. However, if we give material rewards, people will become dependent. The government needs to spend a lot of money and human resources. We cannot guarantee enough money to support us in the long run. In this way, it requires a combination of rewards and penalties to help the government achieve better goals. Next page.
The stage 3, explore the possibility. In this case, we need to explain the pathway 1 to 3. In the pathway 1, the hidden gem. To solve the environmental problem, the government has launched some policy to reduce household waste. And every citizen has the obligation and responsibility to abide by the rule and regulation made by the government. In stage 1, as far as incentive system is concerned, the ranking mechanism fails to motivate people to effectively reduce household waste because people do not spend much time on things they are not in their own interest. Ranking mechanism does not affect the quality of your life, so it is one of the easier mechanisms to ignore. The ranking system is also unfair to some extent because the mechanism is not well supervised and ranking mechanism does not do a good job in reducing people's household garbage. It might cause a lot of trouble because of this mechanism. For example, those who put a premium on ranking may deliberately produce more garbage to increase their recycling. Pathway 2, the double down. To efficiently reduce the environmental problem caused by household waste, the government should adapt a strict way of reducing household waste. For punishment, it should be made more intuitive, even finite. For example, reducing income, increasing tax, and even lower personal credit rating. By increasing tax, the penalty increases the monthly cost of living and therefore directly affect the quality of life of individual. Not just when you cannot have the set of reasonable right to use public transport like airplane and high-speed train. They can also take out normal commercial or civil laws. This also greatly increasing the strain of personal life. The last one, pathway 3, decomposition. To encourage people to voluntarily reduce household waste. The government has created different welfare programs for people with different economic level. For families with relatively high economic level, they might be more inclined to reduce tax. because tax payment is unavailable. It is the responsibility of every citizen. Less tax will bring more income. For a family with low economy level, they might be more inclined to choose some welfare program by the society. For example, increasing medical subsidies, getting extra living allowance, and enjoy half-price public transport fares. This benefit can efficiently solve their living problem. Next page.
Okay, step 4, assess the project tab. In this step, we need to develop the situation and the employment. Then the best solution is to combine the responsibility of the central government with the responsibility and the management of the local government. The problem with the implementation is too hard to solve alone. However, local government also needed to retain their solicitation and self-determination. So we have to have a system when the government create the instrumentation that allow the state and the local government to make an informal decision. In next step 2, we need to maximum the reward and the punishment incentive mission require more human resource and money and the consumption. Some people doesn't even care if there is a normal reward, so we have to attract them with the mission reward first. However, the public and might think that the amount of the punishment is too high, of the punishment is too strict, which will cause the public discrimination. Therefore, we needed to make some plan different. The punishment will be given to the special people in the creative. For example, some family cannot avoid the punishment due to their economy situation. Especially case can be explaining for the punishment based on the humanization condition and the revert and the punishment can be clear and benefit. In the stage 3, in generally reward and punishment measuring can be combined to ensure fair failing to take special environment into amount and do not have the experience revert to the punishment. Such a planning can be implement in our opinion, but the most important things is that we need to find the loophole and consulting improve the process and the future, how the cooperate and the cooperation between the government and the ministry. The reason of the original intent of this program is to make people have a better awarenesses of environment process as also as to make environment management more effectively. Okay.
The solution is, after a comprehensive analysis of 4 stages, we decided to establish a reward and punishment system. There are certain defects when we set up a single system. So where the government pays too much money or people getting dissatisfied, but both rewards and penalties need to exist and they will be balance each other. The advantage of the methods is that they can achieve the lower cost and maintaining the fairness, and it can be sustainable because it's a long-term plan. And in order to better achieve our goals, we also recommend the following method. The first is it relevant government department to better arrangement and to check and to improve follow-up raising like related issues. The second is we should make the plan more detailed, such as setting some special time limits or allocated budget. The third is produce some public service advertisement. School, schools should educate students in this way. Next page. In conclusion, we have set up a rewards and punishment system to encourage people to reduce household waste and judging whether the method is effective from the perspective of hypothesis. find out the defects of the system and solve the problem. Through government intervention, people have positive awareness will improve the quality of life and also the household waste will be reduced. This is our reference list.
And thanks for watching.